everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So it's time for the next episode of my series of Old is Better Than New. And in today's video, I thought I'd cover this another example of a children's television series where I personally think that Old is Better Than New for that show. This is another show of my childhood, which I used to watch a lot when I was a little kid, and I still really appreciate the old series a lot today, absolutely. And this is a show about a firefighter who lives in the fictional Welsh village of Pontypandy. And this character's show, where in my opinion the old is better than the new, is none other than Fireman Sam. So you guys probably going to be, of course, asking me, of course, what does the show mean to me? So when I was a little kid, I used to watch the original series, which aired on repeats in the UK on television, and it was definitely amazing. And considering it was done using puppets and stop motion, I think they did a really great job with how they made it. I think they did a really brilliant job with the stop motion of the puppets. It was definitely brilliant in my opinion, taking lots of days to produce literally minutes of the footage. Just amazing what we did. And if you guys were to ask me who my favourite voice of Fireman Sam is, well, it was definitely, of course, the narrator of the original series, John Alderton. John Alderton is an absolute legend, because he narrated all the characters in the original series, did a really brilliant job, as well as, of course, being the narrator. Like, it's him and other voice actors who do narration as well as voices, who I really appreciate. Like, for example, him and also as well Michael Angelis, my favourite Thomas Tank Engine narrator, may he rest in peace. Yeah, John Alderton's an absolute legend for doing this narration, does a brilliant job at it. And I think the episodes in the classic series are definitely, in my opinion, timeless, and they're definitely as well really relevant, of course, as well, because what I really appreciate about Fireman Sam is it helps to, of course, raise awareness of fire safety, so much so that Sam is now, of course, a mascot for fire safety in the UK, which is definitely brilliant, because he's definitely an amazing role model to look up to, absolutely. And then after this, however, after the original series finished in 1994, we then got a new series which started airing in 2003, and this expanded on the character in it. And they, of course, had improved models with a bit more detail to them. But this time, however, the characters had different voices each, not just one person. And what I will say is, personally, I do prefer John Alderton as the narrator and all the characters, because I personally think his voice made the characters very iconic and memorable. They were okay in this series for what it was worth. They remained consistent with who they were in the original series. And I guess the new characters introduced were okay, in my opinion. They weren't terrible by any means, but personally, I kind of feel that this 2003 series was a bit downhill in comparison to the original series. I mean, it wasn't terrible by any means, because I still appreciate that they still use models and puppets and stop motion and stuff like that. But I still, however, prefer the original version, because I personally think the original version is very iconic and can't be replaced. But this wasn't the worst thing to happen to the franchise, though, because after this series, we then ended up getting a brand new series. And unfortunately, as is the case of several other of my childhood shows, for example, Thomas Tank Engine and Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam became a victim of being, at first, a model series to then becoming a CGI series. Now, I have tried to watch CGI series, guys, and I've ended up either rage quitting out of pure anger at how bad it is, and also because I've been laughing at how bad it is too. Like, many episodes of it I tried to watch, and in my opinion, they're laughable in comparison to the original series. Like, I have no idea what happened whatsoever. Now, once again, this CGI series does feature different voices for the characters compared to, of course, the stop motion series, the very first one. Just like the 2003 revival series, it does feature different voices for the characters. But compared to the voices from the 2003 show, I personally did not like the cast of this CGI series. Like, I personally wasn't a fan of it. I mean, I did appreciate that they gave the characters Welsh accents because the show is set in Wales, so I guess that's good. One going about the cast, but the voices, in my opinion, just did not sound like the characters, in my opinion. And probably the worst voice for the show, in my opinion, was probably that of Elvis Cridlington, the fireman. Because while I thought he was hilarious in the original series, and I guess he was also somewhat funny as well in the 2003 revival model series, in this show, I personally found Elvis really annoying, because his voice was just plainly painful to listen to. Like, goodness me, I don't know what happened whatsoever. His voice sounded so terrible. Like, he sounded like an absolute dork, in my opinion, just so dumb. And And before you all start saying to me, isn't that who he's supposed to be? No, he isn't supposed to sound like that, because sure, in the original series and the 2003 series, he does have his fair share of silly moments, but not that silly. Goodness me. So I feel that Elvis in particular was masked a lot in this CGI series. Like, his voice was just plainly annoying to listen to. It didn't belong to a character whatsoever. And I also feel that many of the characters were also made really unlikable in the show as well. I personally wasn't a fan of how it treated the characters. For example, I wasn't really a fan of how they portrayed the character James, the kid. I thought he was pretty annoying and mean. Didn't really like him. And I must also say that, in my opinion, Norman Price, who's the naughty boy from the visual series, in my opinion, in this CGI series, he's even more dumb than he was before. And just really annoying. And I also, as well, really hated the redesign for his mother, Dilys, as well. Like, she looked like a cross between Dilys and Bella Lasagna compared to how Dilys looked in the original model series. So, like, what happened? Like, that was just, in my opinion, really stupid what we did to Dilys, in my opinion. Like, I can't believe that they ruined Norman's mother, Dilys, like that. Just ridiculous. So, when it comes to, of course, my future being a fan of Fireman Sam, I would not be watching any more CGI series, because for some reason it's still airing to this day, which I don't understand. Like, from 1987 until present day, airing on Channel 5 in the UK, and also on Cartoon Need. So if you guys ever watch Cartoon Need, so I don't know what channels it airs on other countries, but for some reason it's still airing, which I think is ridiculous. If you ask me, they should have cancelled it a long time ago, because in my opinion, the show really has gone downhill ever since it went to full CGI. So, all I can say is, I have no interest whatsoever in watching any more franchise. I will happily stick to the original series of Fireman Sam, the original one narrated by John Alderton. Maybe the 2003 stop motion series, because at least that was stop motion, but I still wasn't a fan of how the character had different voices, to be completely honest. So, as far as I'm concerned, Fireman Sam was in its prime in the original stop motion series narrated by John Alderton, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'll say. So guys, this is me covering the next episode of Old is Better Than You, where I was saying why, in my opinion, Fireman Sam is a big example, I can say, of a children's television series which is better and old than the new. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to vote in the comments what you guys think of Fireman Sam. Do you think Old is Better Than You for it? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe in this coming future, and I'll see you all later.